You're on.
Good evening, everyone. I am Sonia Davidson, staff minister at the Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living in Kingston, Jamaica. And my topic this evening is Come Fly With Me on the Wings of Love. On the Wings of Love. And together we are going to generate this consciousness of love amplified. We already have it. We are generating it every day. We're amplifying it. But before we get into anything else, we start as usual with prayer, affirmative prayer. So please join me as I recognize the one power, the one presence, the infinite, the creator, called by many names, but that which underlies and infuses and expresses through everything, everything and everyone. We recognize that it is fully here in its totality, in everything that is spoken, felt, said, and experienced right here and right now this evening. I know it is the words that are spoken by everyone, and everyone feels at ease and comfortable to participate, to share of that consciousness, so that together we truly will fly high, high, high in our consciousness, in our inner world, and we will truly allow that power and presence, that creative urge, that divine energy of love to just take its place completely in our service this evening. And so we give thanks as I release my words to God's love, giving thanks that it is so, and so it is. And I'll invite you to join me in a few minutes, maybe a minute or two of quiet. And at the end of that time, I will break that silence with an affirmative statement. And I invite you to say within yourself, as I read these words and I say these words, I invite you to repeat them within yourself. I live in the flow of divine wholeness. I live in the flow of divine wholeness, where love, peace, purpose, health, freedom, growth, and security are already mine. I live in the flow of divine wholeness, where love, peace, purpose, health, freedom, growth, and security are already mine. And so it is. I was browsing through 2024, August 2024, Science of Mind magazine, and I came upon a statement: you are the best thing that ever happened to you. Simple statements, but wow, ain't that the truth? You are the best thing that ever happened to you. The fact that we have been given life, we are unique, there's no other, and most important, that life is the life of the infinite creator, uniquely expressing through each one of us, but with all of the attributes of God to use as we please, to express as we please. Wow. What a statement. What a statement. That is the ultimate freedom, as far as I'm concerned. And it's spoken in all the literatures in different ways. But I distinctly remember one, don't ask me for the Bible context, but I love it anyway, and I state it frequently. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. And the Word was God, and without God was there nothing made that was made. And imagine the power of the Word is within each and every one of us. And in the same magazine, a lady called Sally Robbins continued to say, in every moment we get to choose the vibration we are attuned to. The vibration of a question, she says, is different from that of the answer. But he says, rise above the mind that sees a problem and recalibrate to see unopened gifts. My husband used to say to our children, if there is no solution, then it wasn't a problem in the first place. And they have lived with that all along. Every so-called thing that we label as a problem has a solution. And I think that's what she's implying. No. I want to ask you a question because we are onto flying, and flying takes energy. If you could name one, and you don't have to answer, I want everybody to answer within themselves. If you want to speak it out aloud, even better. If you could name one thing in your life that fuels you and lifts you higher and higher when you need to be lifted, one thing, one thought, one statement, one whatever. Take a little time. Think about it. One thing, not several. That means that would supersede everything else, that fuels your life and lifts you higher. What would that be? Think about it. Maybe later on you will want to answer. You know, people, my oneness with God, says George, your thought, you ponder that thought, that I'm one with God, I assume. Yes, and that lifts you higher and higher. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. But you know, there are lots of things that people want in life, but they don't get that energy and thrust to desire it. I understand that there are about 7, there are many things that people desire, but there are 7 that top the list that people really, really desire in life. And I guess they desire it because it gives them a lift, right? Mm-hmm. So think about it. I have collected those names. I'm not so sure that all of them I totally acquainted with. But can someone tell me what are some of the 7 things that people really, really desire in life? Really, really desire above everything else, or they say they do. Don't all shout at once.
What about
Don't
peace of mind?
Yes, peace is one. Yes, peace is one. Mhm. Health, yes, 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 yes. So we have 2 out of the 7.
How about connection?
Hmm?
Connection.
Connection to what? You mean light?
No,
Depend on
as in relationship connection.
Okay, all right, okay, yes, all right, I'll take that one out.
That is very broad.
Eh?
That's not necessarily a romantic connection. It's just a
I know,
connection
I
being
know, that's
something.
understand. That's why you said it that way. Yeah, that's true. You want to feel a connection with humanity, with all people, with living things, with everything. Yeah. And I think in a way that is the connection with God that Junior was talking about, George was talking about. Mhm.
And George also says financial security.
Yes, yes, security.
And
I
Reverend.
have your security because you want to know that when you lie down in your bed at night, you feel security, right? So security in general, that's one of them. Yeah?
What about self-expression?
Yes, I wonder if that has to do with like purpose. I think so, you know.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So we have love. No, sorry, yeah, we have peace. You have love because connection. Peace, purpose, health,
Abundance.
security. Security would come under that.
Mm.
Hey, what is tomorrow? What is tomorrow?
Independence Day. Independence.
Yes, freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom. Freedom. And this one is interesting, growth. People want to feel. I didn't realize that there were people so conscious that they really, maybe some modern generation, they want to feel that they're growing and expanding, I guess, maybe as people and in other ways, I don't know. So we got have it. Love, peace, purpose, health, freedom, growth, and security. But I'm going to challenge you, maybe not here because it takes some thought, that love is that which joins all of those other things. Love, love of self, love of life, just love, 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 right? Love, love, love really is that, right? But you have to think about it carefully. I was challenged to think of it in that way, and I do believe that love is God. But more than that, they not love affectionate, but that which knows the beauty and the goodness and the fullness of all that there is, which connection comes back to connection again. When one is operating in that frame and that state of mind, all these other things come together. Like love is the fuel, the fuel that the fuel that just lifts us out of anything into where we want to be. It lifts us out, but it lifts us into. We talk about that a little later on, right? So I think it may be more than these 7 desires, but researchers have come up with that. And the point of all of these is love. Give you something for homework to ponder. Mhm. So I want at this point just to share the same affirmation, right? I live in the flow of divine wholeness where love, peace, purpose, health, freedom, growth, and security are already mine. We could easily say, I live in love, and love lifts me into all the states of desire and desirable situations. Okay. Now, let's think about this metaphor of love and make a parallel to birds. You know, when birds fly, I don't see any great flurry. Yes, some may flap their wings a little, but they just take off, you notice? And it's as if they soar with the wind, just soar effortlessly. Nature made them that way, to just soar and allow the wind. I'm sure that scientists have studied them carefully, and maybe that's why we came up with the airplane. But the airplane takes a lot more effort than a bird to fly, to take off and to maintain flight. Maybe maintaining flight, there might be some similarities to the bird, but guess what? The airplane, when it's taking off, you know, I've been reading about how an airplane takes off since we had this experience with the Indian airplane. It says when an airplane, I'm reading it, prepares to take off, the engines face their greatest demand, generating the thrust needed to overcome gravity's drag. All engines are blasting with great effort to lift us above any and every drag of the gravity. But doesn't that resemble some of the things that we have to do in life? And when we say love has that energy to do that, gives us that energy, that purpose, that thrust, that all these other things, that is comparable in my mind to this, what we do when all of the intention, but without struggle, but we put all of our focus and our attention on our intention to rise. And just like the airplane, once it has gotten over that by its focus, attention, intention, and we use all of our various tools, which we talk about a little later, of the science of mind. We use them all so that we, at one stage they come together as just our thoughts, our focus. And their flight takes place. It takes place, and once it's up in the air, it just cruises. No, we don't hear any sound. It's just wonderful. And that's how love lifts us up. It lifts us up by allowing us to grow to that point where it becomes our signature, that there is no struggle, no nothing but knowing, so that all our attention can be on our intention to rise. And if we ever feel at any time, boy, down and out, what do? Sit back and practice the presence of love. No, you know, there is no better way to practice the presence of love sometimes than when we are called on to love, especially when we are called on to love. Perhaps some people who they seem to challenge our ability to the ease with which we would find ourselves sharing that connection, as Carol calls it, the connection, the feeling of warmth, and identifying that person with ourselves, because of the way that you may think that they are behaving. I have that situation that I'm working with, and I'm sure I've worked with it several times, right? And it will keep coming back as we grow on in this planet Earth. We'll meet people who we have to practice the presence of love. So it's, as I say, it's not always easy to translate my desire to be the presence of love into action. But I must and I will, and I do it with diligence and discipline until, just like initially, I call it love my signature. I looked at my old signature that I had when I was in medical school. Wow, a whole long line of words. I looked at it later on, and more my signature, anybody could use the same signature. But as life went by, my signature became more and more unique. And almost, I say almost nobody could copy my signature. It's uniquely me, just like love. My love is uniquely me. And I intend that my signature must be wherever I go. It is that which I use to identify with me, is that which gives me access to various situations, to the hearts of people too. And not necessarily with any effort, just by my presence. So as I say, love is my signature. I keep refining it more and more. And the people who come into my life, right? By the way, let me stop and ask you, any of you at this moment, you don't have to call out, just think about it. Is there anyone in your life, one or maybe people or situations that are particularly challenging to you at this time, where you really have to draw down love or draw up on love to handle it, right? Just think about it as I go further on and share how I am beginning to be taught as to how to deal with it, so that I come out on the other side all charged and ready for flight, higher flight. Anyone that's challenging you, think of how you are drawing down on love, charging up with love. Not specifically necessarily praying for them, because we don't interfere with people, but we could pray within our minds of how we see them. Yes, so I think we have to first intend to see them through a higher lens. And before we do anything else, if we intend to approach them, pray for guidance, pray for wisdom and discernment, and how to speak the truth in love, whatever we are going to speak. And remember, when we speak, we have to speak honestly from a heart that really is sincere and really do care about people. Not necessarily about their feelings, but care about them. And their feelings will correspond to our caring. And when we have prayed, the words will come carefully, and it will speak to a heart that is receptive. Yes, we prepare ourselves and know that we must listen for guidance even as we speak. We must be patient, sincere, and persistent if over time we do not get the response that we expect. But we also must know that we must speak honestly, speak truth, speak it in love, right? Speak it in love. Do not pretend or try to mute what we say by saying things which are not true or not facts of the situation. Yes, because we approach it with empathy and compassion, putting ourselves in the person's shoe, knowing that whatever difficulty they appear to be giving to us, it's really about them. It's not because they intend to be upsetting to us or harmful to us. And if we look at it that way, then we'll be overcome with a great feeling of compassion and love. And that's a step up, good step up to love, pure, warm love, energy of love. And when we're doing all these things, guess who's benefiting? We're generating that energy, that thrust of love that will take us flying higher and higher. And by compassion, we don't mean that we give them permission to walk all over us, or excuse their behavior. We use compassion because they understand they need to work on themselves. And together, we are working with them so that we will fly together, right? It frees our hearts from resentment. It does free our heart when we have compassion. And meanwhile, when all of this is going on, guess what? We still have to make sure that if we are not yet ready to deal with some of the things that are still happening in the growth process, we can, excuse me a little, sorry, excuse me. Yeah, we ourselves must step away. Boundaries, step away. Step away until we have worked enough on ourselves and come back to that point where our engine of love is all revved up. And we know how to rev up our engine, how to fuel it. We have our affirmative prayer, which if anyone needs to learn how to do affirmative prayer, they make sure they come to classes if they have not done that before. We have our affirmations, which are just statement of truth about God. We have visioning where we just sit quietly and say, God, what you say? Reverend Elmer used to say, God, what you say, right? About anything. It's as simple as that. We make it into some mystical big thing. We just sit quietly and wait for the answer, right? What else we have? We have treatment, whatever. We have visioning. We have affirmation. We have meditation. How could we forget? Just being in the silence so that we are actually in that place where we feel the closest to that presence of love, which is the presence of God, that connection that Andrew spoke about, right? So when we are doing all of this, we are preparing for massive takeoff so that the people, when, the people who are challenging us the most, we could equate that to the gravity that the airplane has to overtake, right? But we're not trying to overtake them. We are building, the airplane is building up in itself the energy, the thrust, and we are building up in ourselves the energy of love, the thrust. Yes. So we may take off so that whenever we have completed the task of cementing that love within ourselves that the challenge has brought us, we will not be the same person. We'll be flying higher on the wings of love, higher on the wings. We'll never, ever be the same again once we have overcome that. I promise you. Love is the great motivator, the energy that fuels our diligence. It sharpens our attention. It allows us to be diligent in our practice, but persistent in our knowing that everyone is likewise the presence of love. And it helps us to rise higher and higher and higher. So, friends, think about it. If love were your fuel, and it is your fuel, how high could you rise at the moment of your life now where love plays a major role in your life? What is the role sufficient to take you higher above the challenges of life, including just one that I mentioned just now, right? There are many that will face us, but one is how when someone or people seem to appear to be introducing the most challenging to your life. Is your love energy sufficiently strong that it can take you past the things that matter, take you towards the things that matter to us most. Remember, things we want so much, not just the things we want to avoid, the things that we want to experience. Remember the 7 which we spoke about. So after a while, we won't consider people difficult anymore. We think of people coming into our thought atmosphere to experience our signature of love, to go away feeling blessed and leaving us vibrating at a higher level, so that together we know that everyone who comes in our atmosphere, we were flying on the wings of love. We were doing just that. So I just want to end with this affirmation. My love is my signature, and life gives me endless chances to refine it. I take them all and I rise. You can say it quietly in your mind as I say it again. My love is my signature, and life gives me endless chances to refine it. I take them all and I rise. Love is lifting me. Love is lifting you. Together, we take wings and we soar. Love is lifting us. Yes, you have flown with me. Thank you for flying with me. May we always support each other wherever we may be, wherever we may think of each other. Let us support all of humanity. Yes, we are in love. We are in love with life. We are in love with self, the self which God placed in us. We are in love with God as God expresses to us as love. We're in love with good with a capital G. Yes, in love with humanity. That is why we were brought here, to be part of this wonderful adventure we call humanity. And we have every responsibility and every authority to fly together on wings of love. Namaste. Well, now that I have got this far, I ask a couple of questions. Do we have any answers? How do you feel, anybody, right now about your love
are you,
energy?
are you going to leave us soaring through the skies? Can we land at some stage?
No, we don't fly. We fly to other planets there.
Oh, oh my goodness.
There are many planets in this, what you call it, what we call it? The cosmos.
On this plane, yeah.
Yes, I know. Not just this plane. We're not confined. When our thoughts go, it goes through the entire cosmos. Okay, so anybody wants to don't just leave me without an answer. Come. Is anybody feeling so charged with love in their life, their daily life, that they're confident that they can call on that love to just handle any situation that they meet, including the things that they desire and are working on to be in their lives? Let's go back to the 7. Love is, remember we said love can deal with all of that. Peace, can we call on love to create peace in our lives? We're dealing with everything personally now, right? Can we call on love to define the purpose or purpose in this as part of humanity, as using the gifts that we have been given? Can we call on love to heal our physical bodies? Can we call on love to feel free in our lives, no matter what confronts us? Can we call on our love to say, hey, allow me to grow. Take me where I should be. Step by step, I am willing to grow. Use me. Walk with me. Walk as me. Can we use our love to feel secure? And that security covers a lot of things. Answer it in your heart, or if anybody, before we pray, anybody wants to.
May I?
Sure, I'd love you to answer, Sandy. Yes, thank you.
I don't know if it's an answer, it's just some
Comment.
musing.
Yes.
As I'm getting older and approaching a milestone birthday in a few months, and having a lot of persons I've known my entire life make the transition, and observing my body seeming to change in many ways, and some things that once looked to the heavens are now exploring, this southwards, and all of these are converging, and oftentimes the ego and humanity kind of, there are some thoughts and thinking around what's not working and what's going to happen, and Lord, the dooming and the glooming, and I'm present to it. But the good thing is that, I don't allow these thoughts overwhelm me anymore. They come and it's like a passing car. And I think it and I say, well, what the heck, I'm so wise now. I've had so many years under my belt and I'm doing so much better intellectually and professionally and, emotionally. And I said, but this is good. And so I'm starting to love the southern incline of some of the body parts, and I'm coming to, appreciate the exciting time that is transition. And just, and I'm sure I never thought of it as love, but I'm knowing that there is love there, because if love is all there is, then love is creating the new thinking, and love is healing what needs to be healed and making new pathways and doing all these wonderful things.
Yes. Thank you for that, Sandy. And guess what? I look back on all my pictures. You saw all these pictures I was sending to you. And I have changed physically so much. But inside of me, I feel just like when my 15-year-old picture, which I didn't share with you. It's the strangest gift that the universe has given us, that inside of us, our perception of ourselves basically remains the same, right? At the same age, that is. And, the more I fall in love with this new me, this new physical me, right? This grandmother me, maybe great-grandmother me image, because there are people, great-grandmothers who look like me. The more love is showered on me when I go, well, I don't drive a car anymore, so when I'm in an Uber or I'm in the supermarket and wherever, I'm getting so much. I always got it, but I'm getting it as the senior citizen of this world now, right? And being so grateful that there are not too many people who are older than I am on this planet. There, and they're calling out their names. So it's love, and it's not excuses. Love. It's love at any age. And thank you for sharing that too, because I've not given it a lot of thought because I'm a bit busy, but showing you all of these pictures, which I never look back on. And I realized, heck, I have changed physically, so much. I wasn't paying attention because I was just living life and loving life and still loving it. Thanks for that. Anybody else want to say something? We have a little time. We do. Yeah, is that Dawn? Dawn is ever looking young. Yes, come on, Dawn. Yeah. How is love working out for you, dear Dawn? Are you going to unmute? I know you have something to say. No? No. Okay. When you feel like it. And Mr. Layton is here. Yes. Is there? how are you using love? I know you're big on love, big on love. How is the energy of love transforming you into somebody who is vibrating at a higher level than before? Because that's the whole purpose of this signal, to know that you call upon love, it will take you past what you call seeming obstacles, and you call upon love to go up another rung in life, right? And know that I mean love with a capital L. Love. Mhm. Okay. Now, person, anybody?
Well,
Yeah, okay.
love,
Go ahead.
love is all that there is. There is nothing else. And it is exactly what um, Carol just said, and what you have been saying, that the constant in all things is love. And when you asked what it was that at the beginning, that stimulate or, really add purpose to your life. And for me, it is children. When I see the laughter and the smiles, and I mean, just these kids, just playing. And what I've done now is to transfer it into older and the teenagers and so on. And whereas before you would be using judgment. Love does not use judgment. It is about accepting each and every one and everything as being an expression of this infinite that is infinite, meaning that there are no limits to its expression. And that is the greatest love, and that we are part of all of this love. And the other great thing about love is the scripture that you quoted in the beginning was the word. Substitute word for love. Substitute, instead of saying word, say love.
Mhm.
And it is exactly that. Yes? Nothing was
Yeah.
created without love.
Yeah.
It was love, and we are love. We are made in the image and likeness of love. And once you accept that, nothing that happens to you, and I will share, which I, you know, hesitate to share because it seems I'm not looking for sympathy. Yes, I am doing surgery in the morning. In fact, they called me and say you must
Thank you
report to
for
the
being
hospital at
here.
6 a.m. I'm in Florida at the
Yeah.
moment at 6 a.m. in the
Yeah.
morning
Thank
for a
you. Thank
surgery.
you. Thank you.
And there is no feeling of anything else but wonder and love, and just a high. I just feel so high. For me, it's an adventure, if we could look at it like that. And in addition to this, I'm having challenges with my daughter, as you all know that she is a very special person, and she is being challenged by life to move to this higher and higher plane, and for you to, and everybody's telling me, leave her alone. Leave her, blah, blah, blah. No, love. If you believe in love, you know that love will always, always overcome. And love will always be the satisfying success in each and every experience and every one's life. And this is just wonderful. Thank you so much for this.
Nathan, we'll support you. Thank you for that. We'll support you in your little adventure tomorrow, right? And we don't leave anybody alone, but what we do, we refine our signature of love so that wherever we are in anyone's presence and we sign off, right? That signature of love is so strong, so important, it lifts them as well. We cannot lift anybody except through our own self, right? So I think that's what you're doing, and I see you rising higher and higher, like that engine, that's plane engine that revs up and just keeps itself
Yes,
just
I like your
higher and
metaphors.
higher until it
Yeah,
and
yeah.
guess what Dawn says? Love is what? Love is always done. What is done? It's lasts forever. Love lasts forever. That's true. Life, just like life. And God was there in the beginning and it will always be. And we being expressions, waves on that infinite sea of Godness. My favorite visual statement. Yeah, okay. Thank you for sharing. Do I have any treatments that affirmative prayers that I should request? Or let me, oh no, I'm so accustomed to iPad or from when, and please offer an affirmative prayer of health for Trevor. Hold on. For please, oh Lord.
Trevor Vermont and
Okay.
Matthew Dyer, also for Jasper and Pauline Roden, prosperity and right action.
No, let me do the affirmative prayer for health. That is affirmative prayer for health is for who? I can't read
For
it.
Trevor Vermont and
Trevor
Matthew Dyer,
Vermont
D-Y-E-R.
and Matthew Dyer. Those are
Yes.
for health.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And I know you already have the health data, so I would just know.
Yes, I
that
already have the
already
health.
Yes, they do too. So it's just being revealed. So we know that God is all there is. And God, the created out of itself everyone and everything. In its perfection, it placed within each one of us that perfection which it is. And I know that Trevor Vermont and Matthew Dyer have been created out of the perfection of God. That within every particle, every wave which makes up that, which they call their human body and their mind and their spirits, is the presence of God revealing itself, prompting them. I know there is that within them now which looks inward, and there's a deep sense of calm, a sense of feeling loved and appreciated by the universal principle which gave them life. And it is that now which courses through every part of their bodies, creating out of this curse of love and peace and harmony and goodness, that perfect body temple, working as it was created to be. They feel a sense of ease and comfort, and all the organs are just ticking and working wonderfully together as one perfect whole. Perfect health is theirs for Trevor Vermont and Matthew Dyer. I speak with confidence and certainty that the perfection of God is their life now. And so it is. Amen. Yes. What is the other?
The other is for Jasper and Pauline Roden, prosperity and right action. And we could do the prosperity, and because in terms of right action, I have some a treatment I would ask in terms of my daughter in that relation, and I would express it in the way to say that her and it comes from the richer living to the forward movement. It says, "The good I seek is seeking me. The pathway I walk is always forward." And I would that is the right action I want for my daughter, because we're seeking, treatment and so on for her, but she's always seemed to be detracted or distracted. So we are asking for right action in that context. Thank you.
And so for Jasper and Pauline Roden, they are seeking prosperity. Did they ask for
Prosperity and then right action,
right
yes.
action? Okay, all right. Okay, so we know God being the only
Did you ask if there's anything on the YouTube? Anybody seeing anything on YouTube?
I can't see it. It would have to be somebody else that sees it. Let me see.
Carol?
No, I can't access the YouTube here. Somebody else can see it
Yes,
for me,
we
right?
look and see. Yes.
Okay, thanks. All right, so for Jasper and Pauline Gordon, we speak by a word for prosperity, for abundance. And we know that out of that abundance is also the right action that they require. There is abundance of good in their lives because God being the only power and the only presence, God, the creator of all things, the giver, the infinite giver, that which has given in love to humanity, everything that is required for ease or comfort, to fulfill our obligations, just press down, running over, right? And to give and to share. I know for them that the abundance of God is just reaching to them in flows and avalanches of goodwill and goodness, that they feel relaxed and at ease, they feel loved, and that is that love now, which they feel that is the attracting force that brings to them in time and in order everything that they require. And it comes in every form and it comes from every direction because there's just one source, and that source chooses the perfect channels through which it should come. There's a quiet, peaceful, wonderful sense of just relaxation and ease that they feel as they go about their daily business, and watching wonder and awe as the abundance just comes to them. And I know that in that consciousness, there is a right action that they know exactly what to do, how to do, and when to do about everything that is in their minds that they are designed to carry out or to have happen. They never put a foot wrong because they know that that step that they make is being impelled by that which is the power and presence, the infinite and the doer. So I see them happily going about their affairs. And I know in the same consciousness, Leighton sees his daughter doing the right thing at the right time. When he sees her life, he sees that everything about it is right and proper and good and great and for a highest expression. And out of right action must come everything that is happy and peaceful. And I see her, yes, Leighton's daughter, through her eyes, his eyes, and her eyes soaring higher and higher in the realms of, in the wings of love. As she feels love, she meets love wherever she is, and love is just risen in her own being. That love which she knows for herself and she knows for every other self is being heightened by the love of God, which is being generated as her father looks upon her with the eyes of love, and together they take flight. They take flight. I give thanks for right action taking place in the life of Leighton's daughter, in the life of Jasper and Pauline Rhoda, as they experience their prospering power of love. Thank you, God. It is so. So it is. Amen.
So it is. So it is.
All right, is that it? I can't see the time. my timekeeper and my assistant, Carol, is
Sonia,
that
there was this one from YouTube,
YouTube?
from
What was
Islam,
it? From who?
Power of Love to Forgive.
Who is it from?
S. Lati. I don't know
S.
who that
Matty.
is.
S.
Yes.
Matty. And what is S. Matty requesting that we pray?
Latty. The power of
Lati.
love to forgive.
The power of love to forgive. Oh, wonderful. Oh, God is love. And that love has always been, is, and shall ever be endless. Endless, and it is that which is always in the heart and mind and soul and spirit of S. Lati. I know that that love percolates to our consciousness as compassion, as empathy, as understanding, as a deep sense of connection, as she looks into the eyes of whoever she needs to forgive, into the spiritual eyes, and she sees God. And she sees God, she sees a reflection of herself, the self, which is God's presence in her. And there is a binding of consciousness. And as she feels that sense of compassion, she is willing to let go of anything and any thought which separates her from the nature of God's presence in her. And she leaves God to do the work. As she works on that beauty of God's presence in her, and it reaches out with eyes of understanding and compassion towards everyone and everything, including the person that she would wish to forgive. That signature of love which is within her just touches her soul, and she feels a connection with God as never before. She feels the presence of God, and she soars. She's free. She feels free and liberated and whole and complete and happy and love-filled, joy-filled, for she knows that she has the power and authority to live a life that is free from hurt, free from anything, but knowing that she is a beautiful, wonderful expression of God that walks this pathway of life, safe, secure, whole, and complete. I give thanks that it is so, and so it is. Okay. All righty. So we are going to do our announcements, and we're going to be helped to put up the PowerPoint by our beloved Sandy, who is always ready. She makes these beautiful PowerPoints. And I hope you know that in Sunday service and wherever they are, it is Sandy who spends hours bringing it up for us. So now she's going to bring it up so that we can remind ourselves of what's going on in our church. Well, Sandy, you will have to forgive me because you or Carol will have to read it. Because my new glasses, oh, right, good. See it now. Okay. All right, can moving on.
You should be able to see that big and bright and bold.
I was just going to make an excuse that my new glasses has not come yet in the mail, but now I don't have an excuse. Okay. So every Tuesday from 6 to 7:30, we're so blessed to have a grief therapist of our own, Lorraine Jones Lawrence, and it's in the book room every Tuesday from 6 to 7:30. And I hasten to remind you that grief isn't only about people who have passed on to another plane, who are close in our life. We don't realize sometimes how we're grieving things and situations. Some people who grieve love, the loss of a job or some situation, even loss of their own physical appearance. But whatever it is, just join her. Who knows? You may learn something that you might be able to help another person as well.
Mhm.
Tuesdays 6 to 7:30.
Mhm.
Moving on. Oh, drumming. I hear there are 17 people who are learning drumming and guitar. We'll soon have a wonderful band in our church where we can take turns to play. You are allowed to come. It's sponsored until December. It's Sundays at 2 p.m. Turn up with your instrument, your guitar or your drum. I wish somebody would come with a conga drum. Up until now, we have the trap sets. I think, or I'm not sure what you call it. I'm talking about things I
Sorry.
know not of.
You know, I'm sorry, Sonia, but it's one of my dreams. Next year, I'm going to organize a drum circle one Sunday
Wow.
afternoon
Start with one,
or
man.
one Saturday afternoon.
Start with one. Borrow or beg one and turn up
No,
on
the
Sunday.
power of the drum circle will then stimulate the one-on-one.
No, man.
I will, no,
See,
sorry, this is why I mustn't put the ideas out until the
okay.
birthday.
Okay, you've given me
We're
an
going to
idea. I'm
do a
going to
drum
get
circle.
one. I'm going to get one single conga drum to either borrow or buy or donate. And I'm going to leave it there, and that is going to be the seed that will
Okay, reasonable, that makes sense.
work with your idea.
Okay.
I intend to get it before Sunday. Thank you for that wonderful idea. I'll be belonging to be part of that drum circle. All righty. All right. So next week, Vance Gardner, religious science practitioner, will be hosting the Spiritual Mind Healing Service. It's next Tuesday at 12.
No,
And
next Tuesday at 6.
sorry, it's next Tuesday 12 at 6 as usual, the 12th, August the 12th, right? Wow, August is moving on. Just reminding you that the forum continues. I noticed we haven't put it, the forum continues every Thursday, right? You can join for discussion. There are topics, sometimes it's a video, and it's every Thursday at 7. And prayer poll at 6 as usual. And we are inviting you to just donate to our Temple of Light by going to donate.templeoflight.csl.org. That's easy to remember. You can donate through that means or any means. You can't turn up at our church. Just hand over whatever you feel if you want to do it in person. But feel free to donate because your generosity is really helping us to be a beacon of light to the world. It's adding to the fact that we're a beacon of light for the world, right? Okay, thank you for that. And you can quietly say within yourselves, or if you want to open the mic, lovingly as you prepare to give, lovingly I give, joyfully I receive. Be thou fruitful, increase and multiply, bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all of my financial affairs. Thank you, Father, and so it is. And for prayer for our center, the Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community from which the Christ, peace, love, and joy emanate to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and the glory forever and ever. And so it is. And we'll do a prayer for Jamaica. Let's say it together. Even if it's a cacophony of songs, please open your mic and let's say it together. The radiant light of God's love. Open your mic. The radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now penetrates and awakens within the
Within the
hearts
heart
and minds of men
and
and women.
and
The truths of life which
is
sets
set
free.
free.
The light of God's
God's
love
love
is
is growing and glowing
growing in
in
intensity
intensity
in
in
the
the
hearts
hearts
and
and
minds
minds
of
of
mankind
mankind
everywhere.
everywhere.
Love,
Love,
health,
harmony,
harmony,
goodwill,
goodwill,
peace,
peace,
uprightness,
uprightness,
integrity,
integrity,
joy,
joy,
prosperity,
prosperity,
kindness,
kindness,
and
and
the
our
oneness
oneness
under
under
God
God are
are
now
now
established,
established.
and so
So it
it
is.
is. I love these affirmative prayers, and we're welcome to say them when you're by yourself, and it's always wonderful to say them together. I know the origin of both of them, which one day I will speak about, right? And it's just wonderful. I want to thank you for joining me this evening and just collectively taking flight. I feel that I have taken flight within my heart, and I know for each one of us will hear that we have taken flight, and we take this along with us as we fly together on wings of love, knowing that that which created us in love. And as Leighton says, there is only love. And so I speak a special blessing for each one of us. As we go through this week, we know that each one who has joined us this evening feels and senses the power and presence of God in everyone that we encounter. We feel more connected to the source of our creation, the source of life. We feel and sense ourselves as waves on an infinite ocean of love. And we call upon that, knowing wherever we go, and we leave that place wherever we go, filled with love. Everyone we pass is touched with that love, that signature of love that it holds. And that signature grows more and more definite, so that the love that we shows up in ways that are uniquely ours, that infinite love, but showing up as each and every one of us by name and nature, but being God's presence. I give thanks that it is so, and so it is. Amen. Amen. Blessings all.
And so it
Shira.
is.
Shira.
Thank you,
So it
Sonia.
So it
God bless.
is.